Welcome back, everyone. This is what happened at Atlanta Regional 2025. This is the meta breakdown for day one here in Atlanta, and it is pretty kind of telling so far of how the format was shaping up to be after rotation. And it looks like Dragapult EX is one of the better decks to come out onto the scene. And one thing surprising here is no Gardevoir EX given the circumstances. We start things off for the weekend, round 4, Robb up against Fabrizio, Inga, Silva, two great names in the Pokemon TCG community, both opting to play Dragapult EX with that Bodhi, but really, Ian could not get going for both of the games. Really, Fabrizio was able to cleanly handle game 1, and then game 2 just had checkmate on board. There's nothing really Ian could do. Swiss round 5, it is Jason Schmidt up against Jackson Ford. Great Tusk to Dunsparce up against Charizard EX, Dragapult EX. Now, this was a pretty clean 2-0 from Jackson. There was a point in game 1 where Jason actually had neutralization zone with just a lone fan Rudiment Energy, could 5-hit knockout a Dragapult EX, and just hope Jackson doesn't draw into that Artisan Stadium. But benched another Dunsparce, and Jackson was able to Hawlucha and Phantom Dive it for the KO. Game 2, Jackson just set up 2 Dracloak and was able to really get things going. Great Tusk never attacked. Round 6 for our third feature match of Atlanta. It is Cali White up against Makani Tran, Dragapult EX versus Gardevoir EX. This has the Dunsparce in it from Makani. And really, Cali just controlled the entire match with Badu, was able to really keep things just together and not let Gardevoir EX overwhelm. And from there, Makani just never really draws well on stream in the first place. So this was a pretty good 2-0 from Cali. Round 7, it is Hunter Smith up against Isaiah Cheville. This is Terapagos Bouffalon up against Argalodon with that poison package. Now, it was early aggression from Isaiah with the poison package, trying to get things together, but just having to get rid of a lot of consistency cards didn't really help out too much. Hunter didn't really play the cleanest of games, both games 1 and game 2, but were able to take the win in spite of that, 2-0. It just kind of shows how poor Argalodon with that poison package is in this meta, at least right now. And for round 8 for the day, James Kolwaski, All Out Blitzel versus Connor Finton. And instead of playing Pidgeot Control, is opting for the Raging Bolt EX up against Golden Go EX with that to Dunsparce. And this was really just a typical Raging Bolt match. James was able to keep getting attacks off. Connor was struggling a little bit to piece things together, and just because of that, James was able to win 2-0. For our round 9, it is Henry Chao up against John Eng. Both of these players 8-0, trying to seal up a 9-0 victory for day 1. Gardevoir EX up against Dragapult EX, and both of these players are working together on the same kind of team and really just knew each other's decks inside and out. You can tell by the play in the match. Ended up being a 1-1 tie. Both players basically taking 25 minutes to win their respective games, and it was still just a great showing from both of these players, both of these decks. Day 2 meta breakdown for Atlanta. Dragapult jumps ahead, 27.6%. Golden Go also hanging in there pretty well. Terapagos Noctowl, and then Gardevoir EX, we've seen them on stream finally popping into the meta breakdown for day 2. A lot of their conversion rates are going pretty well. First round for the stream of day 2, round 12, Dante Ambrosetti up against Bodhi Robinson. It is Argalodon with that Hops Double and a Toedscruel up against Golden Go EX. And this is the match where you kind of think Toedscruel will really help you out, but Dante just really couldn't get anything going either of these two games, and not even able to get that Toedscruel evolved into that Toedscruel, but only really got like 2 Argalodon throughout the entire 2 games. Just an unfortunate showing here in a pretty high stakes match. With round 13, last round before the top cut. Now it is Jonathan Means with that Flareon EX up against Jose Torres with Dragapult EX, and it is the Slowpoke variant up against a Sylveon EX, which just Angel Lights a bunch of times. This match went back and forth, and in game two, Jose really was able to do a very good comeback and take the victory away from Jonathan. And just unfortunately, with how Flareon Box as a deck plays, does take a lot of time against Dragapult. So if you're not able to get that 2-0 victory, most likely ends up in a tie. And unfortunately for both these players here, a gentleman's agreement couldn't even really happen. It was time called with like first turn of game three. Both players were just able to get Pokemon in play, and from there couldn't really decide a winner. That meant neither of these players making it into top 8, but I do believe both of them finished in top 16. We are now into top 8. Tanner Hurley up against Sebastian Lashmet. It is a slow Dragapult EX mirror match, and this game was really great to watch. Great back and forth throughout the entire 3 games, and just Tanner Hurley was able to eke out the win game 1 through Sebastian drawing an extra card off Iono. From there, who knows what really could have happened, but Tanner was able to just really play this mirror match very well, had a lot of the text for it, and it was really cool to see. Now they decided to stream both top 4 matches. So the first one is Henry Chao up against Cerys Jones, and it is Gardevoir EX up against Dragapult. We've seen this time and time again throughout the stream this weekend already, and it is on paper a little bit rough for Dragapult, but just the play from both of our players was really great to see, and Cerys was able to really take it down to the wire in game 3, and just needed a way to get that Blood Moon Ursaluna out of the active spot after an Iono. Could not do that, and just because of that, Henry Chao was able to take the win, move on to his 3rd finals of the season. Just great match in general. Please go back and watch it. It was really fun to see. Our other top 4 match, Andrew Hedrick looking for his 5th regional win of his career up against Tanner Hurley, a great player from the Florida area, looking to get a big win on his resume. Not really playing much recently, coming back to the game and showing off with the Slowpoke deck. Just great list in general. Up against Hedrick, playing one of the lists of the tournament. A lot of people were playing this Drixty, as they've been saying. Dusknoir with that Dragapult, the Luxurious Cape putting in a ton of work, a lot of Itchy Pollen in this match, but game 1, Tanner just could not draw any Dracloak. I went through maybe 20 cards off the top of his deck, could not find one. It was insane. And then game 2, Tanner prized both Badoo, but was able to get a turn 3 Dragapult EX attack on Andrew's only Dracloak left in play, had just a Duskull and nothing really else that could do anything. And on game 3, Tanner just was not able to get set up, not able to find Dracloak. It was basically worse than game 1 all over, and Andrew was able to punch his ticket to the finals. Going to meet up against Henry Chao. Both of these players have never lost a finals in a majors, and we are in for a treat. It is finals time. Andrew Hedrick up against Henry Chao, and this one was a classic for the ages. You definitely need to go back and watch it if you like just high quality Pokemon play. Both of these players tested for the event together. Both of them had the option between the Dragapult EX Dusknoir deck or the Gardevoir EX Zoroark EX deck, and they chose their respective sides and they met up in finals. Both of them know the exact list that the opponent is playing, so there's a lot of back and forth throughout this entire match. Game 1 lasted 41 minutes, and Henry Chao basically announced Itchy Pollen for 40 of those minutes. It was insane. Andrew was able to try and give himself an out. He didn't even really attack the entire game until a late game Itchy Pollen, trying to deck Henry out. And if Henry prized his last Iono in the 3 cards left, Andrew would have won game 1, but Henry had it, was able to not deck out, and then had the Mew EX to copy Dragapult to be able to snipe the bench to take the remaining few prizes left. Game 2, Andrew was able to just really get a little bit of a better setup and take a knockout on both of Henry's Ralts. this put Henry very far behind, and Andrew was able to just really keep a good position. At the end of game 2, Andrew had a Dusclops with a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX to be able to take the game thanks to a countercatcher as well, and was playing it in a way that he gave himself the least amount of time in game 3 so he can try to win on prizes. Really great heads up from Andrew, and Henry knew it all along, was trying to just do his best, but there was really nothing too much he could do towards the end of that. Game 3, time was called right away, but Andrew went first, attached an energy, benched a Duskull, then on the next turn was able to Rare Candy, Dragapult, Psychic, and get that Dusclops thanks to a top deck Rare Candy with a Jacques, and just like that, forced Henry Chao to be able to draw Rare Candy, Gardevoir EX, and then a Night Stretcher to get back that Clefairy EX that was just knocked out, and living on a hope and a prayer, played a Professor's Research, flipped over the cards one by one, and hit the Rare Candy double Night Stretcher to be able to seal up the game and his 3rd regional win of the season. Henry now cements himself with the likes of Jimmy Pendarvis, Caleb Gedmer, and Igor Costa as the only players to win 3 regionals in a season, and it is just crazy to see what Henry has been able to do with Gardevoir EX in many different formats. It's really awesome to see. Really just started with that top 8 at NAIC and rolled on from there. Both of these players are super young as well, so it just really goes to show that the future of Pokemon is bright. I want to thank you guys again for watching what happened at Atlanta Regional 2025. Be sure to stay tuned for more of these videos. I'm trying to get through the entire season before Worlds, so we'll see if I can make that happen. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.